Cavalcade of Kings. Charles II, Part 1. The cavalcade of kings rides on, and Oliver Cromwell, the Iron Man of history, rides with it. He died in September 1658, a month after his daughter Elizabeth, in his 60th year. His son Richard succeeded him as protector. Richard's protectorate, which only lasted 18 months, is a history of quarrels between the officers of the army and Parliament, and of a growing discontent amongst the people who were tired of the fanatical Puritanism and the lack of amusement. At last, General Monk got the army into his own hands and declared for the cause of King Charles. As the story opens, we find Monk in his place in the House of Commons, strongly advocating the proposals of one Sir John Greenville, who came to the House with a letter from Charles Stuart, addressed from Beda.
And I say 'tis a high time an end was put to all this quarrelling and discontent, unless we want another revolution on our hands. Sir John Greenville has read the letter from our king over the water.
Interrupting you, General Monk, but the king's letter gives no promise to govern well, nor to abide by the laws set down by Parliament. I think 'twould be safer to extract a pledge beforehand from Charles as to what he plans to do for the benefit of the kingdom if he ascends the throne.
You appear to doubt the king's sincerity.
He is a Stuart, and the Stuarts have ever been weathercocks.
Charles is not as the others.
Still, I think 'twould be safer if we bound him hard and fast to the people's service.
The king will be pleased to serve his loyal subjects. In truth, this hath he sworn to do.
You seem anxious to set a Stuart on the throne again, my good general, and yet, not so many years hence, we were compelled for the sake of the peace of the people and the welfare of the kingdom to remove, rather forcibly, I fear, his father from the same high estate.
Yes, but you...
I implore your patience, my good general. 'Tis a matter of such grave import that we must ponder well before we give our decision. Has it been considered what the young king's actions will be towards his father's judges? I myself think he would be scarcely human if he did not desire their heads.
My friends, we cannot hope to weigh our pros and cons and find a satisfactory measure for each and every one. The point at issue is, who else is there but Charles to rule England, since we no longer have a mighty Cromwell, rest his soul, to govern us? Again I ask, who else but Charles, the rightful heir to the throne? 'Tis well. Our country will prosper under him, and the people will rejoice in the restoration of the royal house. Let us light the bonfires and ring the bells. Let us pull down the arms of the Commonwealth and hoist the royal standard in its place. Let prayers be said in the churches for the Stuarts, and let our commissioners to Holland, where our king dwells in exile, to invite him home.
We now find General Monk with the Kentish nobles and a vast concourse of people at Dover, kneeling before King Charles as he lands. I thank you. England, oh, happy man am I to set my weary exile feet upon my native soil again.
Your Majesty's subjects welcome their king with loyal and loving hearts.
Men of England, this day your king stands before you, almost a stranger in a strange land. I gaze around me and see the tents of the soldiery flying the royal standard. I see flags and tapestries streaming from the houses. I see smiling faces, thousands of them, all smiling upon me. I see noblemen and gentlemen in rich dress, train bands, drummers, trumpeters. Oh, it seems like a heavenly dream from which I shall awaken. Convince me, I implore you, that I am not dreaming, and that all this pageantry this show of loyalty and love is real and meant for poor Charles Stuart, the exile.
Tis no dream, sire. The people rejoice at their king's return.
I am content. Come, my good General Monk. You shall ride beside me in my coach and acquaint me with the wishes of Parliament and of my people as we journey to Whitehall. It must be my own fault that I did not come sooner back, but I find no one that tells me he has always longed for my homecoming. And so, on May the 26th, 1660, Charles II was recalled to the throne of England by the fall of the Protectorate. The first 7 years of his reign was the period of the Earl of Clarendon's ascendancy. During this time, his daughter Anne secretly married the king's brother James, the Duke of York. Clarendon also engineered the king's marriage to the Princess Catherine of Braganza, and on May the 20th, 1662, the young Portuguese princess, who was now Queen Consort of England, landed at Portsmouth and was immediately stricken with a sore throat and forced to go to bed. The king arrived at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and was received by Clarendon.
Alas, sire, I have unpleasant news for you.
Well, out with it, out with it.
The Queen has been stricken with a fevered throat. She has retired to her bedchamber on the advice of her physician.
Oh, and I shall visit her in her bedchamber. For I fain would gaze upon the maiden I have made my queen, but whom I have never yet seen.
Sire, the Queen begs that you will not visit her during her indisposition.
Oh, and why not?
Well, sire, the Queen fears she will not find favor in your eyes, being afflicted as she is with a flushed face, a swollen red nose, and eyes from which the water falls copiously.
Then, my dear Clarendon, I will have seen her at her worst, without the deceptive fripperies and artful stares which women use to beguile the hearts of we poor men. In faith, Clarendon, it gives me the greatest delight to command the dazzling beauties of my court to parade before me in the merciless north light of early morning, after an all-night state function at the palace. Their sparkling eyes, mere puppy slits, their shining curls askew and falling from their pins. Gone their warmly glowing cheeks and luscious red lips of the night before. Gone, haggard. In faith, I'm of a mind to make it a law that each man, before he weds, should view his prospective bride in the cold, hard north light before dawn. It would save many a one from disillusionment after marriage.
You are young to be so cynical, sire.
Oh, I'm not so much a cynic as an honest man with contempt for all things false. Await me here, Clarendon. I am going to the Queen to offer her my felicitations. So, you are Catherine. I'm a troth wife. I had not thought by the description of you which Clarendon gave me that you were of such buxom proportions.
Sire, 'tis the fault of my serving women. They have swathed me in woolen shawls and piled the bed high with many coverlets, so that I shall not feel the bitter cold of this sunless land of yours.
Oh, praises be to heaven. For a moment I thought they'd sent me an elephant for wife instead of a woman.
Sire, such coarseness is surely not for the ears of your wife.
Coarseness? Coarseness? Oh. Verily, you will be a fortunate woman if your ears hear no worse than that at my court.
Surely the King of England does not permit coarse wit and questionable jest at his court.
No, Catherine, don't plague me. And in heaven's name, I beg of you not to adopt the pose of a Christian martyr burning at the stake. The people have had a surfeit of stiff-backed Puritanism,
Now they want gaiety, frivolity, love, laughter, and song. And I intend to give them what they want.
The merry monarch, eh?
The merry monarch, faith, yes.
I hope your merriment will not cause you future tears of bitter remorse, sire.
Sire?
Charles, then, if it pleases you better.
Oh, it pleases me mightily.
To please you in everything is my one desire.
Ah, my sweet Catherine, your remarks are both womanly and charming. Kiss me.
Oh, alas, I fear I am in sorry plight to receive my husband's first kiss.
Then I shall close my eyes as I kiss you, Catherine, and think only of the time when your malady shall have left you with your beauty completely restored.